This is the sacred 33rd degree code, where cosmic wisdom and the law of attraction meet. You will see that every thought you nurture sends ripples through reality, drawing to you exactly what you believe. The creative force of the universe awaits your recognition. 33rd degree code. Introduction. The art of manifestation moves through the cosmos like a hidden river of light, carrying in its depths the seeds of every creation. Guarded for centuries in silent temples and whispered by adepts of the 33rd degree, this wisdom now stirs awake for the seeker who dares to listen. The law of attraction is no mere chance. Its precision is the mathematics of spirit, a living geometry that weds thought to form and desire to reality. From the whirling of galaxies to the secret dance of atoms, one truth resounds, like calls to like. You stand at the gateway of transformation, bearing within you the same creative fire that births suns and sculpts worlds. This power is not earned. It waits only to be remembered. Each thought you cradle, each feeling you breathe, sends waves through the unseen fabric of existence, summoning its mirror in your outer life. The ancient masters knew this science of consciousness. What seems like magic to the uninitiated is simply the eternal law, steady as the rising sun. Align your thoughts, your heart, and your actions with what you seek, and the current of creation will carry you unfailingly toward it. This knowledge is both ageless and immediate, mystic and intimate. It asks for no permission, only your silent vow to the truth. You are a creator in an infinite universe, and your awareness shapes reality without limit. These chapters of the 33rd degree knowledge do not teach you something new. They awaken what your soul has always known. You and the creative force are one and the same. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. Part 1. The Foundation of Vibration. Chapter 1. The Hidden Magnet. Your thoughts shape the very fabric of your reality with unwavering precision. Through every moment, whether in conscious awareness or not, you broadcast a frequency that the universe faithfully mirrors back. In a distant valley, Aurora tended her garden each morning, meticulously caring for her roses. Yet her prized blooms remained small and weak, despite her physical efforts. One dawn, as she sat among her flowers, she noticed how her mind constantly whispered doubts about her gardening abilities. In that moment of clarity, she understood. Her inner thoughts had been shaping her outer results. With this revelation, Aurora began nurturing positive visions of her garden. She would sit quietly, imagining her roses reaching toward the sky in vibrant splendor. Within weeks, her garden transformed, not through different actions, but through her aligned thoughts and expectations. Her inner vision had become her outer reality. Meanwhile, in a bustling city, a merchant named Elijah lived in perpetual worry about his business failing. Each fearful thought bred more anxiety, manifesting as lost opportunities and dwindling customers. His fears, like seeds scattered in fertile soil, grew into the very circumstances he dreaded most. Every anxious prediction seemed to fulfill itself, creating a cycle of increasing worry and decreasing prosperity. These tales reveal the silent power of thought alignment. Your mind is a magnetic force, continuously attracting circumstances that match its dominant frequency. When your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs align with your desires, you become an irresistible magnet for their manifestation. The ancient practice of present fulfillment. 3 times each day, as the sun rises when it reaches its peak and as it sets, pause in your daily activities. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to release any tension or doubt. Choose one desire that burns brightest in your heart. Now, rather than yearning for it as a future possibility, feel it as your present reality. Let every cell of your being vibrate with the feeling of already having what you seek. If it is abundance you desire, feel the deep security and joy of overflow. If it is love, let your heart expand with the warmth of that connection. If it is success, embody the confidence and satisfaction of achievement. Hold this feeling for several minutes, allowing it to permeate your entire being. This is not mere imagination. It is the active alignment of your inner state with what must manifest in your outer world. This practice, when performed with unwavering consistency, attunes your entire being to the frequency of your desire. Like Aurora's garden and unlike Elijah's fears, you create a clear channel for manifestation, free from the static of doubt or worry. Chapter 2. The Language of Desire. In the mountains where wisdom echoes through ancient valleys, a monk named Seraphiel sought to understand the mysteries of manifestation. Each morning, he would climb to a solitary peak and speak his intentions to the rising sun. Yet his desires remained clouded, wrapped in layers of hesitation and uncertainty. One dawn, as golden light spilled across the horizon, Seraphiel realized that his prayers carried the weight of doubt. In that moment of insight, he stripped away all complexity and spoke with pure, reverent clarity. "I serve as a vessel of divine wisdom." The simplicity and certainty of his words created a crystalline vibration that seemed to ripple through the very air. Within days, seekers began arriving at his monastery, drawn by an inexplicable force. His clear intention had opened a channel, and the universe responded with equal clarity. The more purely he held his desire to serve, the more precisely the divine orchestrated opportunities for teaching. In contrast, in a coastal village lived Amara, a gifted weaver whose tapestries once captured the imagination of all who beheld them. Yet her inner dialogue remained a constant companion of criticism. "My work isn't good enough. Others create better pieces. I'll never reach true mastery." These thoughts, repeated day after day, wove themselves into a tapestry of their own, one of diminishing confidence and creativity. Her once bold designs grew timid, her colors muted. Each piece she created reflected not her talent, but her deepening self-doubt. The more she doubted, the more evidence appeared to justify her doubts, creating an ever-tightening spiral of limitation. Seraphiel and Amara's experiences unveil a fundamental truth. The universe mirrors back to you the clarity or confusion of your dominant thoughts with unwavering precision. When you speak with certainty, certainty answers. When you whisper with doubt, doubt echoes back. The practice of the sacred dawn declaration. As the first light breaks across the horizon each morning, stand in a place where you can witness the sun's ascent. Let the growing light remind you of the unlimited potential that each new day holds. In this sacred moment, speak aloud one clear, unwavering declaration of your deepest desire. Not as a plea or a wish, but as a truth you are calling into being. Your words must ring with the certainty of something already accomplished. Speak them with the reverence of a prayer and the authority of a command. Let your voice carry the vibration of absolute knowing. This single sentence, spoken with clarity and conviction, becomes a beacon for manifestation, cutting through the fog of doubt and uncertainty. This is not a practice of repetition, but of resonance. One clear, certain declaration holds more power than 1,000 hesitant wishes. Like Seraphiel's simple yet profound statement, your words should emerge from a place of pure intention and unwavering faith. Chapter 3. Alignment before action. In a village among ancient hills lived a merchant named Soliel. Each morning she would rush through the marketplace, hastily gathering wares and negotiating trades with frantic energy. "More, faster now," became her constant refrain. Though her stall overflowed with goods, her spirit felt hollow, like an empty vessel making hollow sounds. Through your own experience, you may recognize this familiar pattern. When desire burns too hot, too urgent, it creates a barrier between you and the very thing you seek. The universe responds not to desperate grasping, but to the pure vibration of aligned energy. In that same village dwelled Zion, a potter whose hands shaped clay with unhurried precision. While others questioned his measured pace, he understood a truth as old as the earth itself. Creation flows most abundantly through vessels of peace. Before touching his wheel each morning, he would sit in silence until joy bubbled up from within. Only then would his hands begin their dance with the clay. As seasons turned, a curious thing occurred. While Soliel's frantic efforts left her exhausted and unfulfilled, Zion's workshop became a magnet for opportunities. Merchants traveled from distant lands, drawn by tales of his exceptional work. His pottery adorned the tables of nobles, each piece infused with the calm certainty of its creation. The language of desire speaks not through words alone, but through the quality of energy you emit. When you chase your dreams with anxiety and haste, you push them further from your grasp. But when you align with the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you become a natural attractor for its manifestation. Notice how your body feels when caught in the rush of wanting. That tightness, that urgent need. These are signals that you have temporarily lost connection with the flow of universal abundance. The law of attraction responds not to the volume of your request, but to the resonance of your being. You need not race toward your desires. They are already racing toward you, drawn by the magnetic power of aligned energy. Your role is not to chase, but to become the frequency of that which you seek to attract. Ancient practice. The heart's alignment. Before taking any action toward your desires, pause and place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply, allowing each breath to dissolve the urgency of wanting. Continue this gentle practice until you feel ease spreading through your being. Only then, move forward. This simple ritual, passed down through generations of wisdom keepers, aligns your energy with the natural flow of manifestation. For it is written in the eternal laws, what comes from peace returns with abundance. Chapter 4. The Mirror of Thought. In the quiet village of Akasham, Celestia lived among the winding streets and ancient stone buildings. Each morning, she would walk to the marketplace, her steps light but her heart heavy. Though skilled in the art of healing herbs, she noticed how patients seemed to hesitate before seeking her counsel. Merchants would offer their wares with slight reluctance, and children would quiet their play as she passed. For many moons, Celestia questioned why the world treated her with such distance, until one dawn, while gathering morning dew for her remedies, she caught her reflection in a still pool. In that moment of clarity, she saw not just her face, but the doubt that lived behind her eyes. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, had been reflecting back her own inner truth, her secret belief that she was somehow unworthy of connection. In a distant city, Malachi the merchant discovered a similar truth, though through a darker lens. His days were filled with perceived slights and mounting frustration. Each transaction seemed to bring conflict. Every interaction sparked discord. The more his inner flame of anger grew, the more the world around him appeared hostile. One day, a wise tea seller noticed Malachi's perpetual scowl and offered him a steaming cup. "This brew shows you your true reflection," she said. As Malachi gazed into the dark liquid, his anger rippling across its surface, understanding dawned. The hostility he experienced was but an echo of his own inner storm. The law of reflection operates with unwavering precision. What you hold within creates the world you see without. Your inner landscape paints the canvas of your external reality with exacting detail. When you walk through life carrying judgment, the world judges. When you move through space harboring love, love finds you at every turn. The ancient practice of mirror meditation beckons you to this truth. Stand before your reflection each morning as the sun graces the horizon. Look deep into your own eyes and speak words of love and acceptance. Let these truths flow not just from your lips, but from the depths of your being. I am worthy of all good things. I am love expressing itself. I am in perfect harmony with life. Watch as the world begins to mirror back these new truths you hold. For when you transform the inner reflection, the outer must follow. Such is the law of all creation. Chapter 5. The Garden Within. In times ago, in a valley blessed by eternal spring, there lived a woman named Lumina, who understood a truth most had forgotten. Each morning she would enter her small garden, not just to tend the vibrant blooms and fragrant herbs, but to cultivate something far more precious, the garden of her inner world. Kneeling in the soft earth, Lumina would close her eyes and feel the joy rising within her heart, nurturing it as tenderly as she did her most delicate flowers. She knew that this inner radiance was the seed from which all outer abundance grew. As her joy flourished, so too did her garden yield unprecedented harvests, attracting visitors from distant lands seeking her wisdom. In the same valley lived a merchant named Raphael, whose mind was once tangled with the thorny vines of doubt. Each venture he attempted withered before bearing fruit, until he witnessed Lumina's flourishing garden. Observing her serene presence, he realized that his own field of possibilities had become choked with weeds of disbelief. With patient determination, Raphael began to clear his thoughts as one would clear an overgrown path. Each morning he would sit in silence, gently removing thoughts of limitation and lack. As his mind grew clear and fertile, opportunities began to sprout like spring flowers after rain. His trade routes expanded, his relationships deepened, and his life took on the lush abundance of a well-tended garden. The universe operates as a divine garden, where thoughts are seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Every moment of doubt you harbor is a weed taking root. Every spark of joy you nurture is a flower waiting to bloom. Your mind is not merely a passive observer of reality. It is the very soil from which your experiences grow. When you tend your inner garden with care, removing the weeds of negative thoughts and planting seeds of positive expectation, the universe must respond in kind. This is not mere metaphor, but the operation of cosmic law. Your consciousness is the master gardener of your reality. Practice. The sacred seed planting. Find a quiet moment as the sun rises or sets. Sit comfortably and close your eyes. Imagine before you lies the vast, fertile soil of your consciousness. Feel its infinite potential, ready to nurture whatever you plant within it. Choose one pure desire, one seed of intention. Hold it in your mind's eye, seeing it clearly. Now, with reverence and certainty, plant this seed deep within the soil of your soul. Feel the warmth of your attention nurturing it. Know with unwavering faith that it has begun to grow. Repeat this practice daily, tending to your inner garden with the same devotion a master gardener shows to their most precious plants. Chapter 6. The River of Energy. In the ancient village of Safa, there lived a young woman named Nova who spent her days tending to the community well. Though the task seemed simple, Nova understood a deeper truth about the flowing waters she stewarded. When villagers arrived with heavy hearts and bitter words, she observed how the water's flow seemed to slow, growing murky and thick. But Nova discovered something remarkable. By redirecting her own feelings of frustration into purposeful movement, the well's waters would begin to dance and sparkle once again. Each morning, Nova would arrive at the well before dawn. Rather than resisting the weight of her responsibilities, she transformed her emotions into fluid motion, sweeping the stone steps, arranging flowers by the water's edge, humming melodies that seemed to make the water ripple with joy. Soon, visitors noticed a change. The well became known as a place of renewal, where stagnant hearts found flow and blocked paths opened unexpectedly. In the same village lived Caleb, a merchant whose shop lay opposite the well. Unlike Nova, he held tight to his grievances, nurturing them like poisonous plants. When customers were few, he blamed the location. When goods didn't sell, he cursed his suppliers. His resentment grew into a dam, blocking the natural current of prosperity that might have flowed his way. The universe operates like water. It must flow freely to bring life. When you resist what is, you create barriers to what could be. Your emotions are not meant to be trapped and stored like stagnant pools. They are meant to move through you like a clear stream, carrying away what no longer serves while nourishing new possibilities. When you feel stuck, remember, the solution is not to fight against the current, but to redirect its power. Let your emotions flow naturally, without judgment. Watch how situations that seemed immovable begin to shift when you release your resistance to them. The law of attraction responds not to force, but to flow. Like Nova's well, your life becomes clear and attractive when you allow movement rather than create blockage. Each challenge presents an opportunity to practice this ancient wisdom. What you resist persists. What you flow with grows. Sacred practice. Sit quietly and bring to mind any situation where you feel resistance. Imagine a mighty river flowing through your being. See your resistance as leaves on the water's surface, carried away effortlessly by the current. Feel the relief as you release the need to control or fight against what is. Practice this visualization whenever you encounter obstacles, letting the river of life carry you toward your highest good. The universe's abundance flows endlessly. Your only task is to keep your channel clear. Chapter 7. The Frequency Key. In a distant valley, a young weaver named Isolde lived in a modest dwelling near a crystal stream. Each morning, she would rise with the sun and hum melodies of appreciation for the water's song, for the morning light, for the very breath in her lungs. As she wove her tapestries, her heart overflowed with thankfulness for the vibrant threads between her fingers. Strange and wonderful things began occurring in Isolde's life. A merchant would appear precisely when she needed specific colored threads. An unexpected windfall would arrive just as her supplies ran low. Opportunities to showcase her work manifested when her heart felt most ready. The more she hummed her gratitude, the more life seemed to dance in harmony with her desires. Meanwhile, in the same valley lived Orion, a skilled craftsman who had once created beautiful wooden carvings. Yet somewhere along his path, he had become entangled in a web of despair. Each morning, he would wake clutching his grievances close, lamenting his lack of recognition, his dwindling commissions, his isolation from others. As Orion's despair deepened, his workshop grew cold and silent. Potential clients would suddenly cancel their visits. His tools would mysteriously break. Even the wood seemed to resist his touch, splintering at crucial moments. The more he clung to his sorrows, the more life appeared to mirror his desolation. The universe operates through a sacred current of energy. Like a mighty river, it flows ceaselessly, carrying the seeds of creation. When you vibrate in gratitude, you align with this current, allowing it to carry you toward your highest good. Yet when you resist with despair or resentment, you create dams in your stream of well-being. Your emotional frequency is the key that either opens or closes the doorways of possibility. Gratitude is the highest frequency you can emit. It magnetically draws to you experiences that match its luminous vibration. This is not mere coincidence, but cosmic law. Here lies an ancient practice passed down through generations of those who understood the power of vibrational alignment. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space. Place your hands over your heart and begin to hum softly. Feel the vibration in your chest as you recall 3 specific blessings in your life. Let this gratitude build within you until it overflows, rippling outward like waves on a pond. Maintain this practice for several minutes, allowing your entire being to become a beacon of appreciation. This simple ritual, performed consistently, will transform the very fabric of your reality. Chapter 8. Silence Speaks. In a mountain sanctuary untouched by time, there lived a truth-seeker named Elysia. Each dawn, she would retreat to a simple stone chamber, allowing silence to envelop her being. At first, the quietness felt empty, a void waiting to be filled. Yet as days passed into weeks, she discovered that silence held its own profound language. Within that stillness, whispers of wisdom emerged, not as words, but as pure knowing. Solutions to long-standing challenges appeared effortlessly in her mind. Opportunities seemed to find her without struggle. The universe's guidance flowed through the space she created, speaking in synchronicities and subtle signs that led her precisely where she needed to go. In the bustling town below lived Azrael, a merchant whose days overflowed with constant motion. His mind raced endlessly with plans and worries. His voice filled every space with negotiations and complaints. Though he sought success with fierce determination, his path seemed increasingly clouded. Important messages went unheard beneath his steady stream of speech. Crucial opportunities slipped past, drowned out by his internal chaos. The universe communicates through the language of silence. In the spaces between thoughts, in the pause between breaths, lies a vast reservoir of wisdom waiting to guide you. When you still your mind, you tune into the frequency of divine intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Think of your consciousness as a pool of water. When disturbed by constant ripples of thought and speech, its surface becomes too turbulent to reflect clearly. But in perfect stillness, it becomes a mirror, reflecting higher truth with crystal clarity. This is why all great masters throughout time have taught the power of silence, not as mere absence of sound, but as a gateway to universal wisdom. Within you resides an infinite wellspring of knowledge, but its subtle voice can only be heard when the mind grows quiet. The answers you seek, the guidance you need, the synchronicities you desire, all emerge naturally in the fertile soil of silence. Here lies a sacred practice, preserved through ages by those who understood the power of inner stillness. Find a space where you will remain undisturbed. Sit comfortably with your spine straight, as though an invisible thread draws you gently upward. Close your eyes and allow your breath to find its natural rhythm. For 10 minutes, simply rest in the silence. When thoughts arise, acknowledge them without resistance and let them pass like clouds in a vast sky. Don't seek answers or strain for insights. Simply be present in the stillness. Let the wisdom of silence teach you its timeless language. In this practice lies the key to hearing the universe's whispered guidance, which has always been speaking, waiting only for a quiet moment to be heard. Chapter 9. The Echo of Belief. In the quietest moments before dawn, a humble monk named Ananda walked through a dense mountain forest. Though he had no map, no provisions, and no clear destination, his steps were steady and sure. Deep within, he knew the universe would guide his path. As he walked, storm clouds gathered overhead. Rather than seeking shelter, Ananda continued forward, his faith unwavering. Just as the first drops fell, he came upon a small cave, perfectly sized for refuge. Inside, he found dry firewood and wild berries, as if placed there by an invisible hand. Day after day, Ananda's journey unfolded this way. Each need was met precisely when it arose. When hunger stirred, food appeared. When weariness set in, shelter emerged. His faith never wavered, and the universe responded in kind, matching his certainty with perfect provision. In a distant village lived Indira, a merchant who spent her days in constant worry. Though her shop was well stocked and her skills were sharp, she could never quite believe in her success. "Perhaps customers won't come," she would whisper to herself. "Perhaps I'm not good enough." Her uncertainty rippled outward, touching everything around her. Customers sensed her doubt and hesitated at her door. Opportunities passed by, reflecting the very uncertainty she harbored within. The more she doubted, the more her reality confirmed her fears. Her business neither failed nor flourished, caught in the limbo of her wavering beliefs. The universe operates with perfect precision. reflecting back exactly what we hold to be true. When Ananda walked through the forest, his unwavering faith created a path of perfect provision. When Indira stood in her shop, her doubt created a reality of hesitation and uncertainty. This mirror of consciousness does not judge, it simply reflects. Like a still lake showing exactly what stands before it, the universe returns to you the essence of your deepest beliefs. Every thought you hold becomes a seed, every belief a root, every conviction a flower blooming in the garden of your experience. Your power lies not in controlling the universe, but in aligning with its perfect reflection. When you stand firm in faith, reality has no choice but to reflect that firmness back to you. When you waver in doubt, the universe must mirror that wavering in your experiences. To transform your reality, you must first transform your conviction. The universe awaits your clear signal, ready to echo back whatever song you choose to sing. Will you sing with the certainty of Ananda, or whisper with the doubt of Indira? The choice and the reflection is yours. Ancient practice. Stand before a mirror at sunrise. Look deeply into your own eyes and affirm with absolute conviction, "Life echoes my belief." Let these words resonate through your entire being. Feel their truth in every cell. Hold this affirmation in your heart throughout the day, knowing the universe will reflect back the certainty you project. Chapter 10. Desire and Surrender. In a village among ancient hills, there lived a weaver named Shiloh. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amber and rose, she would sit at her loom and envision the tapestry she wished to create. With gentle hands, she would touch the threads, seeing in her mind's eye the intricate patterns that would emerge. Then, with peaceful acceptance, she would begin her work, allowing the design to flow naturally through her fingers. This art of imagining and releasing became Shiloh's secret to mastery. She discovered that when she held her vision lightly, like a butterfly perched on an open palm, the universe would weave patterns more beautiful than she could have planned. Her tapestries became known throughout the land, not for their precise execution of predetermined designs, but for their mysterious, almost magical quality that seemed to capture the very essence of beauty itself. In the same village lived another weaver named Serafina. Her fingers were just as skilled, her knowledge of patterns just as deep, but she approached her craft differently. Serafina would grip her vision with intense focus, trying to control every thread, every color, every movement of the shuttle. Her fear of imperfection created tension in her work, and though her tapestries were technically flawless, they lacked the flowing grace that marked Shiloh's creations. This truth extends beyond the weaver's loom to the very fabric of existence. The universe responds not to desperate clutching, but to calm certainty. When you plant a seed in fertile soil, you do not dig it up each day to check its progress. You trust in the natural process of growth. The law of attraction operates with this same principle. Your desires are seeds planted in the infinite field of possibility. Once planted with clear intention, they require not constant monitoring but steady trust. This trust is not passive waiting but active allowing, a state of peaceful expectancy that keeps your energy aligned with your desire, while remaining open to the how and when of its manifestation. The ancient practice passed down through generations teaches this wisdom. First, See your desire with crystal clarity. Feel its reality with every sense. Allow its joy to fill your being. Then, with the same naturalness with which you exhale a breath, release it to the universe. Trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what you have aligned with must manifest. Practice for aligning with trust. Find a quiet moment and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring to mind one heartfelt desire. See it clearly, feel it fully, as if it exists now. Let every detail become vivid in your awareness. Then, with the gentleness of releasing a dove into flight, let go of all attachment to how or when it will manifest. Feel the peaceful certainty that what is truly yours is already in motion toward you. Practice this daily, and watch as the universe begins to echo your trust with perfect timing and infinite wisdom. Part 2. The Mastery of Resonance. Chapter 11. The Music of Creation. Long ago, in a mountain sanctuary, a wise musician named Cassiel understood a sacred truth. Gratitude is the highest vibration one can offer to the universe. Each morning, he would rise before dawn and stand at his window, humming a simple melody filled with appreciation for all that surrounded him. As his gentle tune floated through the air, remarkable changes began occurring in his life. The vibration of his thankfulness acted as a tuning fork, adjusting the frequency of his entire existence. Opportunities flowed to him effortlessly, relationships deepened naturally, and abundance appeared as if summoned by the very notes of his grateful song. Cassiel discovered that when he maintained this frequency of appreciation, the universe responded by orchestrating circumstances that matched his harmonious state. In the same sanctuary lived another musician named Zenith. Though equally talented, Zenith approached life with resistance, always finding discord in his circumstances. He focused on what was missing rather than what was present, creating a dissonant frequency that rippled through his experiences. The more he resisted, the more life seemed to present him with situations that sparked further resistance. The universe operates like a grand symphony, reflecting back the precise frequency you emit. When you vibrate in harmony with gratitude, you align with the natural flow of abundance. This alignment isn't about forcing positive thoughts or denying challenges. It's about finding the underlying tone of appreciation that exists in every moment. Your thoughts and emotions create specific vibrational frequencies. Gratitude produces one of the most powerful magnetic frequencies available to human consciousness. When you genuinely feel and express thanks, you activate a resonance that attracts more experiences worthy of appreciation. The ancient ones knew this secret. Life mirrors the song of your heart. What you choose to focus upon becomes the melody of your existence. By consciously cultivating gratitude, you tune yourself to the frequency of abundance, allowing the universe to orchestrate circumstances that match your appreciation. Sacred practice, the melody of blessings. Each morning, find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Begin humming any melody that naturally rises from your heart. As you hum, bring to mind one blessing in your life. Feel the gratitude for this gift flow through your voice, infusing your tone with genuine appreciation. Continue this sacred song, adding new blessings like notes in a growing symphony. Let your melody carry your thankfulness to the universe, knowing that each grateful note attracts more experiences that resonate with this frequency of abundance. Chapter 12. Shadows into Light. Long ago, in a distant mountain village, a young woman named Evangeline lived with a twisted foot that made each step painful. While others pitied her, she began a curious practice, blessing her limitation. "This pain teaches me patience," she would whisper each morning. "This challenge shapes my strength." With each blessing, her spirit lifted higher until her limp became a dance of grace. Within you dwells this same transformative power. Every shadow that falls across your path carries hidden light, waiting to be released through acceptance. When you resist what appears as darkness, you anchor it more deeply into your experience. But when you embrace it with gratitude, its true nature emerges, not as an obstacle, but as a gateway to greater understanding. Consider how water shapes stone, not through force, but through gentle persistence. Your challenges are like this water, slowly sculpting you into your highest form. The very things you wish to push away often hold the keys to your evolution. Each difficulty presents a choice: to curse the darkness or to light a candle of gratitude within it. In another village lived Thaddeus, a merchant who lost his fortune. Unlike Evangeline, he raged against his fate, seeing only injustice in his circumstances. "Why must I suffer?" became his daily lament. With each bitter thought, his world grew darker, his opportunities fewer, until his resistance became a second poverty, deeper than the first. The law of attraction responds not to your circumstances, but to your relationship with them. When you bless what appears as shadow, you transform its essence. This is not mere positive thinking. It is spiritual alchemy. Your gratitude becomes a flame that transmutes lead into gold, pain into power, obstacles into opportunities. The universe has hidden teachings in every trial. Your willingness to find the blessing within the burden opens channels of grace that resistance keeps sealed. This is the deeper truth. That which you resist persists, but that which you embrace transforms. Ancient wisdom whispers that gold is refined by fire. Your challenges are this fire, purifying your consciousness, strengthening your spirit, but only when met with gratitude. Each difficulty overcome with grace becomes a stepping stone to higher understanding. To begin this practice of transmutation, select one challenge that currently shadows your path. It might be physical pain, a difficult relationship, or a persistent obstacle. Sit quietly and speak these words with sincere gratitude. "I thank you for the growth you bring. I bless the wisdom you contain." Feel how this simple act begins to shift the energy of your challenge, softening its edges, revealing its hidden purpose. Watch as your perception shifts, as what once appeared as darkness begins to glow with inner light. This is the alchemy of gratitude, the power to transform through blessing what seems to burden you. In this sacred practice lies the key to transmuting all shadows into strengths, all pains into powers. Practice. Each morning, choose one challenge in your life. Speak aloud your gratitude for its presence and the growth it brings. Continue this practice for 7 days with the same challenge, noting how its energy transforms through your blessing. Chapter 13. The Vision Held Steady. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a young merchant named Callista sat each morning before sunrise, painting intricate designs on delicate pottery. Day after day, she crafted vessels that existed first in her mind's eye, holding that vision with unwavering clarity until her hands brought forth exactly what her spirit had conceived. Though others rushed their work to market, Callista remained steadfast, knowing that true mastery emerges only through patient dedication to an inner vision. The universe responds not to fleeting wishes, but to visions held with sacred conviction. When you plant your desire in the soil of consciousness, it must be tended with the same devoted attention a master sculptor gives to stone. Each thought, each feeling becomes a chisel, gradually revealing the masterpiece within. In a distant valley, Zephyrus dreamed of cultivating the finest vineyards in the land. Yet when the first frost came, he abandoned his fields. When summer brought drought, he turned away from his vision. His garden withered not from external conditions, but from his wavering attention to the dream that had first sparked in his heart. Your desires are seeds of divine potential, waiting to be nourished by your sustained focus. The law of attraction responds not to momentary enthusiasm, but to unwavering devotion. Like a master archer who sees the target struck before releasing the arrow, you must hold your vision with such clarity that its manifestation becomes inevitable. Truth lies not in how quickly your desire manifests, but in how faithfully you maintain its image in your consciousness. Each time you reinforce your vision, you weave another thread into the tapestry of its becoming. The universe asks only this: will you remain true to what you have seen in your heart's eye? Callista's pottery became renowned throughout the land, not because she worked faster or harder than others, but because she never wavered from the perfection she first glimpsed in her mind. Your power lies in this same unwavering focus. Sacred practice. Each morning, as the sun rises, take your vision and write it anew, not as a mere repetition, but as a deepening communion with your desire. Write until each word resonates with the certainty of natural law. Write until your vision feels carved not just on paper, but in the very substance of your being. Through this daily devotion, you forge an unbreakable bond between your consciousness and your creation. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. Sacred Imagination. Along a quiet riverbank, Ophelia sat beneath an ancient willow tree. Each morning she would close her eyes and breathe life into her visions. She didn't merely think of her desires. She lived them in her mind with such vivid detail that her body responded as though they were already real. When she imagined her healing sanctuary, she felt the smooth wooden floors beneath her feet, inhaled the calming scent of lavender and sage, heard the gentle chime of bells in the breeze, and saw sunlight streaming through crystal-clear windows. The law of attraction responds to the fullness of your creative power. Your imagination is not a mere daydreaming tool. It is the sacred workshop where reality takes form. When you engage all your senses in your vision, you create a vibrational blueprint so complete that the universe cannot help but match its frequency. In contrast, Lazarus would sit in his chamber, trying to manifest his merchant vessel. Yet his thoughts remained vague, like shadows on a clouded night. He pictured a boat, nothing more. No salt spray on his face, no creaking of timber, no wind in the sails. His manifestation arrived just as unclear, a small fishing skiff, nothing like the grand trading vessel he had hoped to attract. Your creative force magnifies in proportion to the detail you invest in your vision. When you think in generalities, you receive general results. But when you paint your desire in the full spectrum of sensory experience, you transmit a signal of crystal clarity to the universal mind. The power of manifestation flows through your senses like water through a garden. Each sensory detail you add to your vision acts as a channel, allowing more of the creative force to flow into your reality. The universe doesn't respond to abstract concepts. It responds to the living energy of experience. Ophelia's healing sanctuary manifested with remarkable precision, drawing to her exactly the elements she had felt, seen, heard, and sensed in her meditations. Her success lay not in the length of time she spent visualizing, but in the depth of sensory detail she wove into each visualization. This is the forgotten wisdom of the ages. Your senses are the bridge between thought and form. When you engage them fully in your creative visualization, you establish a direct line of communication with the manifesting power of the universe. Sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Now, take your heart's desire and bring it to life through your senses. Feel the textures associated with your vision. Hear the sounds that would surround you. Smell the aromas that would be present. See the colors, the light, the shapes with pristine clarity. Taste any flavors connected to your desire. Let your body respond as though your vision is happening now. Practice this sensory immersion daily, knowing that with each detail, you strengthen the magnetic pull of manifestation. Chapter 15. Magnetic Words. In the silence before dawn, a weaver sat at her loom, each thread she touched shimmering with possibility. As her fingers danced across the warp and weft, she whispered blessings into every fiber. "This thread brings abundance," she murmured, watching the golden strand catch the light. "This one carries joy," she breathed, as she wove in threads of crimson. Day after day, her tapestry grew more radiant, and soon her work became sought after throughout the land. People said her weavings carried magic, though she knew the true power lay not in the threads themselves, but in the sacred words she spoke as she worked. The universe responds to your words with matchless precision. Each syllable you utter sends ripples through the fabric of creation, weaving the pattern of your experience. Your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. When you speak with reverence and intention, you activate the creative force of the universe. Think of your words as instruments of divine alchemy. They transform the formless into form, the invisible into visible. The ancient masters understood this. They knew that speech carries the power of manifestation. This is why they guarded their words carefully, speaking only what they wished to see flourish in their lives. Yet many walk through life unconscious of this power. They scatter words of lack, limitation, and discord, then wonder why their path grows thorny. Like a merchant in the market who spoke only of scarcity and loss, his very words repelled the abundance he sought. His complaints became prophecies, each negative utterance ensuring its own fulfillment. Your tongue is the rudder that steers your ship of destiny. Every word you speak is a declaration to the universe, a command that must be obeyed. When you say, "I can't," the universe responds, "As you wish." When you declare, "I am blessed," Creation itself moves to make it so. Let your words be like incense offered up to the divine, pure, purposeful, and sacred. Before you speak, pause and ask, "Is this what I wish to create?" Feel the weight and power of each word as it forms on your tongue. Speak as though you are inscribing your desires into the very fabric of reality. The practice. Choose 3 times each day to speak with conscious power. Stand before a mirror at sunrise, noon, and sunset. Speak your chosen truth with the certainty of one who knows their words shape reality. Feel each syllable resonate through your being, knowing that the universe must echo what you declare. This is not mere repetition. It is sacred speech, the language of creation itself. Your words are the chisel with which you carve your destiny from the marble of possibility. Chapter 16. The Golden Thread. In a distant mountain village, a wise woman named Aurelia lived simply yet magically. Each morning, she would pause to notice the subtle signs that nature offered: a feather on her path, a repeated number, a chance encounter that led to an unexpected blessing. She began to see how these weren't mere coincidences, but golden threads of guidance woven by the universe. The law of attraction operates through a language far more intricate than words alone. It speaks through the poetry of synchronicity, those meaningful coincidences that illuminate your path. When you attune yourself to this sacred dialogue, life transforms into an intimate conversation with the divine. Like Aurelia, you possess the innate ability to read these cosmic signals. Each coincidence carries a message. Each unexpected encounter holds purpose. The universe constantly reaches toward you through these synchronized moments, offering direction, confirmation, and gentle course corrections. In the same village lived Phoenix, a merchant who rushed through his days with eyes downcast, missing the signs that surrounded him. Though opportunities knocked repeatedly, he remained deaf to their calling. When a stranger mentioned a business venture that aligned perfectly with his dreams, he dismissed it as idle talk. When 3 separate customers requested the very goods he had considered importing, he ignored the pattern. In his hurry to force his own way, Phoenix found himself increasingly adrift, missing the very guidance he sought. The difference between these 2 souls lay not in the presence or absence of signs, for they surround us all, but in their willingness to notice. Aurelia understood that synchronicity requires receptivity. She knew that when you acknowledge these subtle nudges, they grow stronger, clearer, more frequent. The universe responds to your attention like a flower turning toward the sun. You stand now at a crossroads of awareness. Will you move through life like Phoenix, blind to the cosmic choreography around you? Or will you, like Aurelia, train your eyes to recognize the sacred patterns woven through your days? The signs you seek already surround you. That book that keeps catching your eye, that name you keep hearing, that recurring dream. These are not random events, but threads in the tapestry of guidance being woven for you. To strengthen your connection to this divine dialogue, begin a nightly practice of recording synchronicities in your journal. Note every meaningful coincidence, every repeated pattern, every chance encounter that feels significant. Through this simple act of acknowledgement, you weave yourself more deeply into the fabric of universal guidance. Watch as the golden thread grows stronger, leading you unerringly toward your highest good. This practice transforms your life into a living meditation on synchronicity. Each evening's reflection becomes a quiet conversation with the universe, strengthening your ability to read its subtle language. As you document these sacred signs, you'll find yourself moving through life with greater grace, guided by an invisible hand toward experiences that align perfectly with your deepest desires. Chapter 17. The Law of Vibrant Expectation. In an ancient city of stone and starlight, a woman named Isis lived with an unwavering certainty in magic. Each morning, as golden rays painted the horizon, she would whisper, "Today holds a miracle." And without fail, miracles found her, sometimes grand, often subtle, but always precise. Through this practice, you too will discover that expectation shapes the invisible architecture of your reality. The universe responds not just to what you think, but to what you anticipately know in your bones. This knowing, this deep, quiet certainty, becomes the mold into which your experiences pour themselves. Isis understood this truth. When rain threatened the harvest festival, she maintained her serene smile, knowing the weather would shift. Others fretted, but she held her peaceful expectation. As the morning dawned, a gentle wind cleared the clouds, creating perfect conditions for celebration. When resources seemed scarce, she trusted in invisible abundance. Invariably, unexpected gifts, opportunities, or solutions emerged, as if summoned by her unshakable faith. In the same city lived Ambriel, whose eyes saw only shadows. Where Isis expected wonder, Ambriel anticipated disappointment. "Nothing ever works out," became his daily mantra. The universe, being a faithful mirror, reflected his expectations with precision. Business ventures faltered, relationships strained, and doors seemed to close before he reached them. Both Isis and Ambriel walked the same streets, breathed the same air, yet lived in entirely different worlds, worlds shaped by their expectations. Their experiences revealed a fundamental truth. Your expectation acts as a magnetic force, drawing to you circumstances that match its frequency. The power lies not in hoping, wishing, or even believing, but in knowing. When you know something wonderful approaches, you vibrate at the frequency of miracles. Your energy shifts from questioning to receiving, from doubt to certainty, from resistance to acceptance. This knowing creates a magnetic field around you that attracts corresponding experiences, like calls to like, and expectation calls to manifestation. The universe delights in fulfilling the visions of those who expect its generosity. By declaring each morning, "Something miraculous awaits me," you activate this magnetic power. These words, spoken with quiet certainty, become a key that unlocks doors to wonder. Through this simple practice, you align yourself with the flow of infinite possibility, where miracles aren't rare exceptions, but natural occurrences. Ancient practice. As the first light touches your eyes each morning, before your feet meet the ground, speak these words with absolute certainty. "Something miraculous awaits me." Let this declaration set the tone for your day, knowing that the universe already holds your miracle in trust, waiting for the perfect moment to reveal it. Chapter 18. Spirit's Timing. Once, in a distant mountain village, there lived a wise woman named Valora who crafted exquisite timepieces. Each morning she would sit at her workbench, carefully assembling the delicate gears and springs with patient precision. Unlike other craftsmen who rushed to meet demands, Valora understood that each masterpiece required its own natural rhythm. In the same village dwelled Cassian, a young watchmaker burning with ambition. While his skills matched Valora's, his impatience led him to force components together, breaking delicate mechanisms in his haste to complete more pieces than anyone else. The universe operates much like these timepieces, each moment calibrated with divine precision. When you align with this sacred timing, life unfolds with grace and harmony. Yet how often do you resist this natural flow, attempting to force outcomes before their appointed hour? Your desires are like seeds planted in the cosmic garden. Each has its season of germination, growth, and harvest. When you trust in this divine timing, you enter a state of magnetic allowance. This state of being attracts precisely what you need at the exact moment it serves your highest good. Consider how Valora's timepieces gained renown throughout the land. She never advertised nor sought recognition, yet customers journeyed from distant shores, drawn by the perfection of her work. Her secret lay not in technique alone, but in her deep trust of timing. She knew that rushing would only create resistance, while patience allowed perfection to emerge naturally. Meanwhile, Cassian's reputation suffered as his hastily assembled watches failed to keep proper time. His resistance to natural rhythm created discord in his creations, and this discord echoed through his entire life. Opportunities slipped away precisely because he grasped too desperately at them. The law of vibrant expectation teaches that your trust in divine timing becomes a magnetic force. When you release the need to control when and how your desires manifest, you open yourself to receive in ways far grander than your limited planning could devise. Like Valora, you must learn to feel the natural rhythm of manifestation. Each desire carries within it the perfect timing of its fulfillment. Your role is not to force or rush, but to maintain unwavering faith while allowing the universal clockwork to turn at its own perfect pace. Time itself is not your enemy, but your ally. When you resist its flow, you create friction that delays your good. When you align with its rhythm, you enter a state of effortless attraction. The universe operates with impeccable precision. Your task is simply to trust its timing. The practice. Throughout your day, pause whenever you feel yourself rushing or resisting. Place your hand over your heart, take 3 deep breaths, and whisper to yourself, "All unfolds in perfect timing." Let these words remind you that the universal clockwork turns with divine precision, bringing each blessing at exactly the right moment. Chapter 19. Love as Frequency. High in the mountains lived a wise woman named Athena who understood the ancient art of cultivating love. Each morning she would tend to her garden, whispering words of appreciation to every flower and herb. As she worked, her heart overflowed with gratitude for the simple gifts before her: the morning dew, the gentle breeze, the warmth of sunlight on her skin. Through seasons of abundance and scarcity alike, Athena maintained this practice of love. When storms came, she blessed them. When drought arrived, she thanked it for teaching patience. Her neighbors noticed that while their gardens struggled, hers flourished. While their wells ran dry, hers flowed freely. While their stores depleted, hers multiplied. In the same village dwelt Magnus, a man of considerable skill but bitter heart. Though his hands were capable, his spirit remained closed. Each day he cursed his lot, seeing only what was lacking rather than what was present. He resented Athena's prosperity, blind to its source in her loving attention. The universe responds not to what you do, but to the energy you emanate while doing it. This truth echoes through the ages. Love attracts love. Abundance flows to abundance. Appreciation multiplies what is appreciated. When you fill yourself with love, you become a natural magnet for all manner of blessings. Consider the merchant who counts his coins with anxiety, forever fearful of loss. Though his vaults may be full, his experience is one of lack. Meanwhile, the simple farmer who loves his land finds that nature conspires to support him, bringing rain when needed, sun when called for. In the valley beyond the village lived an elderly shepherd who had little by worldly standards, but radiated such joy that travelers would go miles out of their way just to sit in his presence. His small flock multiplied, his modest home felt like a palace, and peace surrounded him like a gentle mist. The law remains constant. What you nurture within manifests without. Your inner state creates your outer world with unfailing precision. Those who cultivate love find themselves swimming in an ocean of abundance, while those who harbor bitterness watch as life reflects their inner barrenness. Before sleep each night, center yourself in stillness. Place one hand upon your heart and breathe deeply, allowing love to fill every cell of your being. Feel it as warm golden light expanding through your chest, flowing through your arms and legs, radiating from your crown. Let this love light dissolve any shadows of lack or limitation. Hold this state for several minutes, knowing that as you sleep, this energy of pure love will magnetize all that resonates with its frequency. This practice, passed down through generations of mystics, aligns you with the creative force of the universe itself. For love is not merely an emotion. It is the very substance from which all abundance flows. Chapter 20. The Infinite Lens. In the ancient city of wisdom, a merchant named Selene stood at a crossroads. Each morning she would climb to the highest point of her dwelling and gaze across the vast expanse of possibilities before her. When one path closed, she saw 10 others opening. When a deal fell through, she recognized it as the universe directing her toward greater opportunities. You possess this same innate power to expand your vision beyond apparent limitations. The universe does not deal in scarcity. It operates through infinite channels of abundance. Observe how Selene moved through life. When her primary supplier could no longer provide silk, rather than fixating on this single closed door, she lifted her eyes to the horizon. Within days, 3 new merchants appeared, each offering finer materials at better prices. When her shop location became unavailable, she didn't spiral into despair. Instead, she widened her search, discovering a superior position that doubled her customers. Yet in the same marketplace dwelt Orionis, whose vision remained locked on singular paths. When his usual grain supplier failed to deliver, he saw only catastrophe. His mind, clouded by fear, could not perceive the abundance of alternatives surrounding him. Each setback became a wall rather than a redirecting sign. His business slowly withered, not from external circumstances, but from his constricted perspective. The universe never closes all paths. It simply guides you toward better ones. What appears as an obstacle is often a celestial hand steering you toward greater alignment. Those who understand this truth never feel trapped, for they recognize that infinite possibilities exist in every moment. You might notice that when you relax your grip on how things should be, solutions appear from unexpected directions. This is the paradox of abundance. The looser your grasp, the more easily it flows to you. The wider your vision, the more possibilities become visible. Think of your consciousness as a lens. When you tighten it in fear, you create a narrow beam that illuminates only one path. But when you expand it with trust, it becomes a floodlight, revealing countless opportunities in every direction. Practice. Close your eyes and envision yourself facing a challenge. Now, imagine stepping back as if viewing it from a mountaintop. Feel your perspective widening, revealing not just one path, but an infinite array of possibilities spreading out before you. Picture every challenge as merely one door among infinite. Let this expanded vision become your natural state, knowing that you never face a true dead end, only invitations to pivot toward greater good. Part 3. Awakening Mastery. Chapter 21. Living as Source. In the quiet hours before dawn, a merchant named Cale would sit beneath the stars, his heart open to the vastness above. He understood a truth most overlooked, that abundance flowed not to him, but through him. Each morning he would touch the earth and whisper, "I am the vessel through which all riches flow." His business flourished not because he chased wealth, but because he recognized himself as its source. In the same village lived Evaden, who spent her days counting coins and fretting over what she lacked. "If only I had more," became the mantra that shaped her reality. She saw herself as separate from abundance, always reaching for it, yet never quite grasping it. The more she focused on scarcity, the more scarcity embraced her like an old friend. When you understand that abundance is not something to pursue, but rather your natural state of being, everything shifts. The universe operates through you, not for you. This ancient wisdom reveals that you are not meant to seek prosperity. You are prosperity itself, expressing through human form. Look at the ocean. It does not question its depth. The sun never doubts its ability to shine. In the same way, abundance is your inherent nature. When you stand in this truth, you cease to chase what you already are. Every desire already exists within you, waiting not to be found, but to be expressed. Those who understand this law stop searching outside themselves. They recognize that every resource, every opportunity, every blessing flows through their consciousness first. The outer world merely reflects this inner knowing. The difference between Cale and Evadne wasn't in their circumstances, but in their understanding of this fundamental truth. Cale lived as a channel of abundance, while Evadne positioned herself as a seeker of it. One flowed, the other grasped. Think of a spring. It doesn't seek water. It is the source from which water flows. You too are not meant to seek abundance, but to be the wellspring from which it emerges. This understanding transforms your relationship with everything you desire. When this wisdom takes root in your consciousness, you no longer chase success. You emanate it. You don't pursue opportunities. You become the origin point from which they spring. This is the infinite lens through which masters of manifestation view reality. Sacred practice. Each morning, stand before a mirror. Place your hand upon your heart and speak these words with quiet authority. I am the source, not the seeker. Let this truth settle into your bones. Feel yourself as the wellspring of abundance, not its pursuer. This simple yet powerful practice aligns you with the infinite flow that you truly are. Chapter 22. The Flame of Certainty. In the shadows of dawn, a weaver sat at her loom in a humble dwelling at the edge of a mountain village. For 7 years, Lyra had held one vision in her heart: to create tapestries so beautiful they would bring light to the darkest spaces. While others scoffed at her dream, she tended it like a sacred flame, letting it warm her spirit through countless hours of practice. The universe responds to unwavering conviction. When you claim your role as Source incarnate, the power flows not to you, but through you. This is the highest truth. You are not merely a vessel hoping to be filled, but the very fountain from which abundance springs. Those who wait for external permission live in the shadows of their own power. They see themselves as empty cups longing to be filled, when in truth they are the wellspring itself. This fundamental misunderstanding keeps countless souls trapped in cycles of seeking what already lies within. Lyra understood this truth. Each morning before touching her threads, she would close her eyes and feel the creative force flowing through her hands. She did not hope or wish, she knew. This knowing transformed her simple threads into works of light that seemed to pulse with their own inner radiance. In the same village lived Jareth, equally skilled with the loom. Yet he lived in constant doubt, questioning his worth, his talent, his very right to create beauty. "Who am I to dream so bold?" he would whisper to himself. His threads, though finely woven, remained lifeless, mere shadows of what they could be. Each time inspiration sparked, he doused it with doubt until only ashes remained. The difference between these two weavers was not talent, but recognition. Lyra recognized herself as Source expressing through human form. Jareth saw himself as separate, forever reaching for a distant light. You are not required to build a bridge to your own power. You need only recognize it already flows through you. The moment you claim your divine inheritance as Source energy expressing in physical form, the game changes entirely. No longer do you chase manifestation. You become the manifesting force itself. This knowing cannot be given. It must be claimed. It rises not from the mind, but from the depths of your being where truth resides. When you stand fully in this recognition, doubt becomes as impossible as darkness claiming the sun. The ancient practice of living flame. In the temples of old, initiates would sit before sacred flames until they recognized their own inner fire. This practice continues to ignite self-realization today. Light a candle in darkness. Gaze steadily into its flame. As you breathe deeply, speak your vision once with unshakable knowing. Let the flame mirror your own inner light, unwavering, bright, and eternally burning. Hold this gaze until you feel the vision ignite within you, not as hope, but as absolute certainty. Chapter 23. Union with the Field. In the heart of an ancient valley, a wise woman named Era lived in perfect harmony with the rhythms of existence. Each morning she would sit beneath the spreading branches of an old oak tree, her consciousness expanding until she felt no separation between herself and the world around her. In this state of union, her desires manifested with the natural ease of leaves unfurling in spring. This truth echoes through the ages. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe expressing itself in human form. When you recognize this essential unity, the very notion of attraction transforms. No longer are you reaching out to grasp what seems far away. Instead, you allow what is already yours to flow naturally into expression. The universe does not exist out there. It moves through you, as you. Every breath you take is the cosmos breathing. Every heartbeat is the pulse of infinite intelligence. In this realization lies the deepest secret of manifestation. What you seek is seeking you, because there is no division between seeker and sought. Consider how a wave might strive to become the ocean, not realizing it already is the ocean in motion. Similarly, you may struggle to attract what you desire, forgetting that you are the field in which all possibilities exist. This was the challenge faced by Syrian, who lived on the other side of the valley. Despite his spiritual practices, he saw himself as a lone figure fighting against the world, separate and small. The more he grasped for abundance, the more it eluded him, like trying to clutch water in a clenched fist. The difference between Era and Syrian was not in their actions but in their state of being. Where Syrian saw himself as a fragment seeking completion, Era knew herself as the wholeness from which all things emerge. Her desires manifested not through effort, but through recognition, the simple, profound awareness that she was the field itself. What you are now discovering is the ancient wisdom. Manifestation flows naturally when you release the illusion of separation. As you embrace your true nature as the field of infinite potential, what once seemed like magical attraction reveals itself as natural expression, sacred practice. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel the boundaries of your body dissolving like mist in morning light. Expand your awareness until you sense yourself as the vast field of consciousness in which all things arise. Rest in this expansive awareness for 20 minutes, knowing that in this space, all you desire already exists within you. This is not visualization. It is recognition of what has always been true. Chapter 24. The Radiance of Gratitude. In a timeless village among rolling hills, there dwelled two souls walking vastly different paths. Leora, whose name meant light, understood a fundamental truth of the universe, that gratitude itself was a magnetic force. Each morning, she would touch her heart and whisper thanks for the dawn's first rays, for the breath in her lungs, for the infinite possibilities that lay before her. As she moved through her days, Leora's appreciation flowed ceaselessly like a crystal stream. When rain fell, she gave thanks for nature's nourishment. When challenges arose, she expressed gratitude for the growth they brought. Her very being radiated this constant recognition of life's gifts, and in response, the universe seemed to shower her with endless blessings. The law of attraction responds not to what you want, but to what you are. In Leora's case, she had become gratitude itself. Her heart pulsed with appreciation, and this vibration drew to her experiences that matched its frequency. Business opportunities found her without effort. Relationships blossomed naturally. Even strangers were drawn to the warm glow of her presence. In contrast, Kailaman spent his days focused on what was lacking. Though he lived in the same village and had access to the same opportunities, his habit of complaint created a dense fog around his life. "Nothing ever works out," he would mutter, and true to his word, nothing did. His business remained stagnant, his relationships withered, and even the simplest tasks seemed to meet with resistance. The universe, you see, does not distinguish between positive and negative focus. It simply matches your dominant vibration. Kailaman's constant complaints became the very frequency that shaped his reality. He had become a magnet for the very experiences he bemoaned. This ancient truth reveals itself. Gratitude is not merely a response to blessings. It is the very power that attracts them. When you radiate thanks, you align with the abundant nature of the universe itself. Your appreciation becomes a beacon, drawing to you experiences that mirror your grateful heart. Consider this. Every moment of gratitude is a seed planted in the fertile soil of possibility. Those who water these seeds with consistent recognition watch their lives bloom with unexpected gifts. It is not about denying challenges or pretending all is perfect. It is about maintaining an inner posture of appreciation that transforms your relationship with all of life. Sacred practice. As the day draws to a close and you prepare for sleep, sit quietly in your bed. Place your hand over your heart and feel its steady rhythm. In this peaceful moment, bring to mind 3 specific blessings that have graced your day. Let each one glow within your heart as you acknowledge it. Feel the warmth of genuine gratitude spreading through your being. This practice, performed consistently, attunes your frequency to the natural abundance of the universe. Chapter 25. The Crown of Intention. In the heart of an ancient marketplace, a merchant named Elion prepared his stall each morning with sacred purpose. Before arranging each item, he would pause, close his eyes, and whisper his intention for that object's journey. "May this vessel bring nourishment to the one who needs it most," he would say, placing a clay pot with gentle reverence. "May this cloth shelter and comfort its destined owner," as he folded vibrant fabrics. As seasons passed, Elion's humble stall transformed into a beacon of abundance. Travelers spoke of items purchased there as though blessed by unseen forces. A simple cooking pot from his collection somehow produced the most flavorful meals. Fabrics lasted longer. Candles burned brighter. And herbs maintained their potency beyond ordinary measure. Across the marketplace stood Mistara's stall, filled with similar wares, but bearing a markedly different energy. She would hastily arrange her goods, mind wandering to 1,000 concerns, never pausing to infuse her actions with purpose. Her items, though physically identical to Elion's, seemed to lose their luster quickly. Customers would return with complaints of pots that cracked, fabrics that faded, and herbs that lost their essence. The law of attraction responds with precise accuracy to the quality of intention you place within each moment. When you crown your actions with conscious purpose, you activate a magnetic force that draws corresponding circumstances into your experience. Each thought, word, and deed becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of universal consciousness. You must understand, the universe does not distinguish between grand gestures and simple acts. It responds to the radiant energy of intention itself. When you bring sacred purpose to even the smallest action, you align yourself with the creative force that shapes worlds. This is the hidden wisdom that transforms ordinary moments into portals of manifestation. Just as Elion blessed each item with purpose, you have the power to infuse every moment with transformative intention. Whether preparing a meal, sending a message, or simply walking down a street, each action can become a prayer, a declaration of purpose that ripples through the fabric of reality. Remember Mistara's scattered approach, which mirrors how many move through life, allowing precious moments to slip by without conscious direction. Such unconscious living creates unconscious results, leaving one's creations to disperse like leaves in the wind. The ancient science teaches that intention acts as a crown, blessing each deed with divine purpose. Through this practice, the simplest acts become sacred, and every moment becomes an opportunity for manifestation. Ancient practice. Before any action, pause and speak your intention aloud, no matter how small the deed may seem. Let your words carry the weight of certainty, for they are shaping the invisible forces that govern your reality. This practice aligns your energy with the creative current of the universe, transforming everyday moments into powerful acts of conscious manifestation. Chapter 26. The Soul's Signature. In a remote mountain village, there lived a potter named Althea who created vessels unlike any others. While other artisans followed traditional patterns, Althea listened to an inner voice that guided her hands. Each piece emerged with distinctive swirls and unexpected textures that seemed to capture light in mysterious ways. Though merchants initially questioned her unusual designs, those who acquired her work spoke of how these vessels somehow enhanced everything they contained. Water tasted sweeter, flowers lasted longer, food carried deeper flavors. The essence of the universe flows most powerfully through authentic channels. When you align with your unique spiritual signature, you become a pure conduit for divine energy. This truth remains encoded in the fabric of creation. Originality carries power that imitation can never achieve. In the same village dwelled Avalon, another potter who spent her days studying and replicating the most popular styles from the capital city. Though her technical skill was impressive, her works felt hollow, lacking the spark of life that animated Althea's creations. Despite achieving perfect reproductions, Avalon's vessels sold poorly, and she could not understand why. Your unique vibration is your greatest magnetic force. When you express from this authentic core, you activate a resonance that draws your precise matches. Those who attempt to mirror others disconnect from their own power source. The universe responds not to perfect imitation, but to genuine expression. Through this understanding, Althea's work began drawing collectors from distant lands, while Avalon's masterful copies gathered dust. The distinction lay not in skill but in source, one created from inner truth, while the other crafted from outer observation. You carry within you a sacred signature, a unique frequency that no other soul can replicate. This signature acts as a beacon, calling forth experiences, relationships, and opportunities that perfectly match your authentic vibration. When you honor this truth, life responds with increasing synchronicity. The law of attraction operates through authenticity. Your genuine expression creates a clear channel through which abundance flows naturally. Those who attempt to attract by mimicking others create interference in their own energetic field. As with all universal principles, this law operates with mathematical precision. The more purely you express your unique essence, the more powerful your attractive force becomes. Each authentic thought, word, and action strengthens your spiritual signature. Stand before your mirror each morning and speak these words with conviction. I shine as my sacred signature. Let this practice remind you that your greatest power lies not in imitation, but in genuine expression. Through this daily dedication to authenticity, you activate the magnetic force of your unique spiritual vibration. Chapter 27. Beauty in Faith. In ancient times, a merchant named Ishtar traveled through lands torn by storms and upheaval. While others cursed the thundering skies and treacherous paths, she witnessed something different. In the lightning's flash, she saw patterns of divine light painting the heavens. In mudslides that blocked common routes, she discovered hidden paths leading to untold treasures. Even when sandstorms forced her caravan to shelter, she used these moments to forge deeper connections with fellow travelers, turning strangers into lifelong allies. The universe speaks in cycles of creation and dissolution, each holding equal purpose in the grand design. What appears as chaos to the untrained eye often masks the birth of new order. Your perception shapes the reality you experience, transforming apparent disorder into stepping stones of opportunity. In these same lands lived Ephraim, another merchant who saw only misfortune in every challenge. When winds scattered his goods, he cursed the heavens. When rains delayed his journey, he blamed the universe for conspiring against him. His bitter outlook became a self-fulfilling prophecy. Each setback reinforced his belief in life's cruelty, and his trade slowly dwindled. You attract what you choose to see. The law of attraction responds not to circumstances, but to your inner response to them. Those who perceive beauty, even in disorder, magnetize more experiences that reveal hidden gifts. Those who resist and reject what is, draw more situations that feel worthy of rejection. Through this understanding, Ishtar's trading empire flourished despite external chaos. She recognized that every obstacle carried within it the seed of greater advancement. Her willingness to seek beauty in disruption opened pathways others could not see. The universe operates through perfect balance. In every challenge lies an equal or greater gift. When you train your eyes to seek this hidden perfection, you align with the creative force that perpetually transforms chaos into order. Your appreciation becomes a magnetic force, drawing forth more experiences that reveal unexpected beauty. This principle manifests with unwavering precision. Each time you choose to find beauty in what others reject, you strengthen your alignment with universal abundance. Every moment of appreciation, no matter how small, increases your attractive power. As you move through this week, pause before each challenge that arises. Instead of reacting with resistance, search for the gift within it. What beauty lies waiting to be discovered in this moment of apparent chaos? What opportunity for growth or unexpected blessing has been hidden in this situation? Let each difficulty become your teacher, revealing new facets of beauty you might have otherwise missed. Through this practice, you transform your relationship with life itself, seeing through eyes that recognize the perfection in all things. Keep a small journal with you this week. When faced with any challenge, Pause and write down one specific beauty you discover within it. This simple act will train your perception to automatically seek out the hidden gifts in every situation, strengthening your alignment with universal good. Chapter 28. Walking as Light. Once there lived a woman named Oriel who understood a truth most ancient, that each step taken shapes the path ahead. As she walked through the marketplace, she moved with such gentle grace that others felt warmed by her presence. Her footsteps seemed to leave traces of golden light, not visible to physical eyes, but felt deeply by all who crossed her path. The way you move through the world creates ripples in the universal field. Each step carries the vibration of your inner state, sending waves of energy that return to you multiplied. This is not metaphor, but the precise working of spiritual law. Your very presence affects the quantum field around you. When you walk in consciousness of light, that light multiplies and returns. When you move with inner kindness, external circumstances align to reflect that same quality back to you. The universe mirrors not just your thoughts and feelings, but the very essence of how you occupy space. In that same marketplace dwelt Sapphira, who pushed through crowds with sharp elbows and bitter words. She scattered discord with every step, and soon found herself caught in storms of her own making. Merchants raised prices when they saw her approach. Doors that opened for others stayed firmly shut. The harshness she sowed returned as a harvest of difficulty. You magnetize circumstances that match your way of being. The law of attraction responds not just to mental focus, but to your entire energetic signature. How you walk, how you move, how you occupy space. All of this broadcasts a signal that the universe answers with mathematical precision. Through Oriel's gentle way of walking, opportunities arose as naturally as flowers turning toward sun. Those who could help her path seemed to appear at perfect moments. Even in difficult times, she found herself guided to exactly the right place at the right time. Her light-filled presence attracted circumstances that mirrored that same quality of grace. The power lies not in forcing change, but in embodying the energy you wish to attract. When you walk, as though spreading light, you activate a resonance that draws more light to you. Your physical movement becomes a prayer, a declaration to the universe of who you truly are. Let each step become conscious. Feel light pouring from your feet as you walk, blessing the ground beneath you. Imagine this light spreading outward, touching all in your vicinity with its gentle radiance. This is not mere visualization. It is aligning yourself with the actual spiritual laws that govern attraction and manifestation. Ancient practice. As you move through each day, imagine pure light flowing from your footsteps. Whether walking to your car, through your home, or down busy streets, feel this light pouring forth with each step. Let your movement become a conscious blessing upon the earth and all you pass. This simple practice, maintained with steady awareness, will transform not only your own experience, but the experience of all whose paths you cross. Chapter 29. The Quantum Leap. High in the mountains lived a young woman named Nyx, who dreamed of becoming a healer. Instead of waiting for permission or perfect conditions, she began treating villagers with her knowledge of herbs and gentle touch. Though she possessed no formal title, her authentic care drew people from distant valleys. Soon, word of her healing gifts spread through the land. and those in need found their way to her door. Without announcement or fanfare, she had become what she envisioned. In the same village dwelled Cyrus, who spoke endlessly of opening a school for children. "When the timing is right," he would say, "when I have more resources, when others support my vision." Years passed, and still he waited, planning and dreaming, but never taking the first step. The children who might have learned from him grew into adults, and his dream remained forever on the horizon. The universe responds not to what you plan to become, but to what you are being now. Each moment presents a choice between embodying your vision or postponing it to some imagined future. When you dare to live as though your dream already exists, you create a magnetic field that draws its physical manifestation toward you. Your thoughts carry creative power, but your actions amplify them into physical form. To walk as light means to move through the world as though what you desire already exists. If you wish to be a writer, write today. If you dream of teaching, teach someone now. If you envision yourself as prosperous, carry yourself with the dignity of abundance. The future emerges from the seeds you plant in the present moment. Waiting for perfect conditions creates only more waiting. Acting from your vision creates ripples that transform into waves of manifestation. The universe recognizes and responds to your current vibration, not your future intentions. Look at your deepest desire. How would you move through your day if this desire were already fulfilled? What choices would you make? How would you speak? What energy would you carry? The power to manifest lies not in what you will do tomorrow, but in how fully you embody your vision today. Ancient wisdom teaches that creation flows through the present moment. When you align your current actions with your highest vision, you become a channel through which the infinite expresses itself. Your role is not to force the future into being, but to live so completely in alignment with your vision that it naturally materializes around you. Practice. Begin each morning by asking yourself, how would I move through this day if my vision were already real? Then act accordingly. Walk, speak, and make choices as though you are already living your dream. Let every action arise from this embodied knowing. The universe will mirror back what you dare to be now. Chapter 30. Living the Formula. In the heart of an ancient city, a humble merchant named Eos awakened each morning before sunrise. She had discovered a truth that transformed her existence. The law was not something to be practiced, but to be lived as naturally as breathing. With each inhale, she drew in pure possibility. With each exhale, she released resistance. Day by day, Eos moved through the marketplace with an inner knowing that transcended mere belief. When customers were scarce, she remained in perfect peace, understanding that abundance flowed through her like the tide. When challenges arose, she met them with the same steady presence, knowing they were but ripples in the infinite stream of good. Her neighboring merchant Raphaelian constantly struggled with this wisdom. Though he had studied the teachings, he treated them as separate from himself, something to remember and apply when needed. Each morning he would force himself to repeat affirmations only to forget them the moment difficulty appeared. His commerce ebbed and flowed like his inconsistent practice, leaving him exhausted from constantly starting anew. The law isn't a technique to be mastered, but a current that already flows through your being. Just as you don't need to remember to breathe, You don't need to remember to align with universal forces. They are not separate from you. They are the very essence of what you are. When you understand this truth, struggle ceases. There is no more effort to attract or manifest, for you recognize yourself as the source through which all manifestation flows. Your role is not to make things happen, but to allow the infinite to express itself through you without resistance. In the depths of a moonlit evening, Eos sat in her garden, her breath moving in perfect harmony with the universe. No longer did she seek to control outcomes or force results. She had become one with the law itself, and through this unity, her life flourished with an ease that seemed magical to others but was perfectly natural to her. This same power flows through you now. It has never left you, never diminished, never faltered. Like the beat of your heart, it continues its perfect rhythm whether you acknowledge it or not. Your task is not to create this power, but to recognize its constant presence. The ancient practice. Before sleep each night, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, feeling the life force moving through you. As you settle into stillness, whisper these words with the power of absolute knowing. Nothing can stop what flows through me. Let this truth sink into your being until it becomes as natural as your heartbeat. This is not an affirmation to be repeated, but a recognition of what already is. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. Through these chapters, an ancient knowledge has awakened within you, not as distant theory, but as living truth coursing through your veins. The formula you discovered here is not new. It has always existed within you, waiting to be remembered. Now you recognize it in every breath, every heartbeat, every moment of creation. You understand now that the law of attraction isn't something to be learned, but a power to be remembered and lived. It flows through you as naturally as blood through your veins, as steadily as the Earth's rotation, as consistently as the tides answering the moon's call. From those first steps of understanding how inner thought creates outer form, to the mastery of allowing universal forces to move through you, you have not just gained knowledge, you have reclaimed your divine birthright. The magnet that draws all things is not external to you. It is the very essence of your being. Each chapter has unveiled another layer of this truth: how your words shape reality, how alignment precedes manifestation, how surrender accelerates creation. These weren't merely lessons to be studied, but remembrances of your innate power, each one awakening more of what you have always been. You now stand in the fullness of this knowing. No longer do you seek power outside yourself, for you recognize that you are the power you sought. The universe doesn't respond to you. It responds as you, through you, with you. You are not separate from the field of infinite possibility. You are that field expressing itself in human form. This transformation transcends mere understanding. You have become what you studied. Your thoughts naturally align with creation. Your words carry the weight of certainty. Your presence radiates with magnetic power. You no longer need to remember these principles because you have become them. The doubts that once clouded your vision have dissolved in the light of this remembrance. You see now that nothing external has power over what flows through you. You are the source through which miracles manifest, the conductor through which universal forces play their symphony of creation. This is your inheritance, to walk as a conscious co-creator, aligned with the power that births worlds. The mysteries have unveiled themselves not as complex secrets, but as simple truths you have always known in the depths of your being. You are the magnet. You are the miracle. You are the living embodiment of this eternal formula.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.